Thank you for joining me. I see, oh my goodness, we already have 26 friends here already. Thank you, everyone. I'm so happy that you are here. Thank you for spending a little time with me on your Friday. Today is Friday, March 6th at 10 a.m. Pacific time. So if you're joining live, then you can chat in the live chat and you will see everybody else's comments going by. If you're watching a replay, I'm so happy that you're here. Thank you. I'm just thrilled to share some coloring tips with you. Today we are going to be talking about the new stamp called Flowers Fair, and it's a large background stamp. You can see it's on, what block is this? This is the F block from Stampin' Up. It's big. It's a card front size. And I'm going to show you some alternates for creating, you can see, different size cards. But most of all, I wanted to share a whole bunch of coloring tips with you. I think you can kind of see up here at the top of my screen, I have almost every Stampin' Blend color up there because that's how I roll. If you know me, you know that I use tons of colors when I color with Stampin' Blends. And I will link these trays. This is not what I keep my blends in all the time. This is how I organize them when I am doing a live video or a project, but I can link those after I'm done. In fact, I better write a note because you know me, I never can remember. By the time we get to the end of a video, the thoughts at the beginning of the video are gone. So hang on one second. Just going to write myself a note to link the trays. Those trays, by the way, they originally were something that my husband bought for his tool chest. And I saw them and I thought, ooh, and I got them in a bunch of different sizes to organize in my craft room, and I love them. They are in my Amazon store. So if you're familiar with that, you've probably seen them. But anyway, okay, that's neither here nor there. It's just that people always ask about the trays. So again, thank you if you're just finding the live feed. My name is Patty Bennett, and today we are talking about the Flowers Fair stamp and different coloring combos with the Stampin' Up! Stampin' Blends alcohol markers. I'm so glad that you're here. Thank you, everybody. You can find these projects at pattystamps.com. I'm going to have some of these cards on my blog tomorrow, which will be March 7th. And then the other cards I'm going to kind of sprinkle in like every 2 or 3 days over the next week or so, just because I have a lot of new things I want to share with you. And I didn't want to take up like 5 days in a row with just these, but you'll find them coming up. And also, if you visit me there from time to time, you know that I share lots of tips and ideas, color combos, and my video replays are always there. So lots of things that you can find there in addition to the shopping links and newsletter sign up, all the good things. So good morning, everyone. I see so many of you have joined, 81 people. Thank you for joining so far. So happy that you are here. And we are going to do some coloring, and we are going to do, well, I'm going to show you some different ways that I've used this stamp. So, excuse me, you may be thinking, I don't remember where this stamp is. The March online exclusives just released on Tuesday, March 3rd, 2026. And it is back here on the third to the last page up at the top. It's just a single stamp? No, it's a single stamp. Again, Patty words, right? It's a single stamp. It is a full size, like I just showed you. I'll show you that again, but it's just by itself. So if you would like to do some coloring, this is a fantastic stamp to start playing with different color combos. This download is on pattystamps.com. I put it there on the 3rd. It's on there again today. It'll be on there again tomorrow. If you're a demonstrator, you can grab this in the demonstrator on the demonstrator website under happening now, then product releases. So this is not anything I've made up. It's just something that Stampin' Up! Provides for demonstrators. And then tomorrow, I do have the PDF for you. The download will be available. It'll link back to this video. It'll link to the cards. It'll link to the slimline envelopes, and it will have the color combos and the tips and all the info, the dimensions, everything for all of these different cards. And then the supplies are there. The supplies are already on pattystamps.com today. So if you need a little refresher about anything we talked about, you can go to pattystamps.com as soon as we're done, and you can find the supplies there. Susan, you're so cute. She says, by the time Patty is done, you'll need this stamp. Well, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Susan, it brings such happy memories of coloring with you on our last crafting cruise. Just so fun. So fun. Oh, by the way, after I start coloring, remind me to tell you the story of this ring. I know Susan always looks to see which ring is on my right hand. I have a story for you about this ring, so I'll share that with you later. Oh, good. Linda ordered the set or the stamp. I hate to call it a set because it's a set of one, but I mean, I guess it's, I don't know. It's a stamp. It's a background stamp. So as I mentioned, it's large. It takes up the whole F block. When I first got it, I used the new Stampin Positioning tool, Stampin Positioner tool, which I forget exactly the exact name of it, because I just wasn't sure if it would stamp really well on the first go around, but it did. It stamps perfectly beautiful. So if you like to stamp with clear blocks and you have a larger hand like I do, I have no problem holding this, then you could put it on the block. If you would prefer a stamping position or stamp positioning tool, you can use that. Whatever works best for you. But as I always say, you're going to want to use Memento black ink, and you are going to want basic white cardstock. Stampin' Up! Actually kind of developed some of the features of the basic white cardstock to work with Memento ink and Stampin' Blends. So it's just a good reminder that you'll want to use your regular basic white cardstock. But let's look at some of the cards and then let's color. So the very first thing I did, I was going to say I made this card, but I didn't. The first thing I did was I just stamped onto basic white cardstock, and I started playing with different color combinations. This was the very first one I did. And one thing you'll notice that's different is that I added little shadows at the bottom of every flower with the light smoky slate Stampin' Blends. And that's just kind of a fun, different look than just coloring. So that's just a tip there. You can do that. So this would be like your card front size. And then I thought, well, what if I just stamped sort of the top half and played with some colors without coloring in the whole thing? And that allowed me to go a little quicker and come up with some different color combos. So you can see I have more of like a strawberry slush and peach pie. I have the freesia and bubble bath and petunia pop kind of a look on this one. This one is more of the petal pink and flirty flamingo. And then I decided to try a full stamp, and I was playing with that. So that's how I started. Then I thought, what if I took a slimline size card front and I just stamped the top half twice? So you can see that's what I did for this. And I thought that was kind of a fun look because it's unexpected. It's not what you might think of for using a stamp that's this shape. You may not have thought of that. So I thought, okay, I need to share that idea. So I did some horizontals 2 times on there. That was that one. And then I wanted to do California poppies. So I did this one. And I know a lot of California poppies have a lot more orange in them, but they can actually, there's a wide range. So anyway, that was my version of California poppies. Then I got this idea. So I'm going to show you this today as well. After coloring that, I colored in between with balmy blue, cut with my paper snips around the top, and layered it onto balmy blue. So that's another idea. I'm going to show you that today. Then from that, I thought, oh, well, what if I did just the top part of the stamp and the same idea? So coloring with Balmy Blue and putting it on top of Balmy Blue. So that is kind of a fun, different way to use the stamp. And then another way that I used it was I colored, let me show you in the PDF so that you can see. I'm getting there. Here it is. So I actually stamped 3 separate strips and colored them, cut out along the top of the 2, and I layered them all together. So this back piece goes all the way down, but you don't have to color the whole thing. And then this middle piece, so do you see that? Do you see the layers here? There's a layer and there's a layer right there. They layer on top of this back piece, and that gives you like this beautiful, like, whoa, this whole garden of purple posies, should we say. You could do this with any color, but just some different ways to look at using this stamp. And then I cut one of them just into 4x4. Yes, it pained me a little bit to cut that, but I wanted to show you different ways to use the stamp. So 4x4 on a square card, and then the bottom portion, I just put it on the inside. Like, I don't know, why not? Just use it up. So that's another idea. And then finally, one last idea. Here's your card front size, but I sliced it and put it onto a gatefold card, and that gives you yet another look for this stamp. So whether you are looking for kind of, I don't really want to call it a fun fold, but just a different design idea or a way to use a background stamp right there, if you just want to take a screenshot of that, that is, let's see. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, at least 5 different ways to think about using that stamp. Okay, but then, wait, there's more. I feel like a commercial. Then I thought, well, what if I just started stamping on some die cut pieces? So that's the new, oh, my mind just went blank. What is that called? Hang on, it's right here. Scalloped Wishes. There it is on a stylish shape circle. Vertical or horizontal perennial postage die. The arch, the everyday arches die. So there are 1, 2, 3, 5 more ways that you might want to think about using a stamp like this. If you're thinking, it's a big background stamp, I can only do one thing with it. Think again, my friends. That is a lot of ways you can use this stamp right there. So again, just card front size for playing, either full size, or you can do just a part of it and do the top of it if you want to play around, and then the horizontal version for a slimline. Okay, so I know that's a lot of background, a lot of blah, blah, blah before we actually get to the coloring, but I just wanted to show you that you might think about other ways to use this other than just a card front size image. Thank you. Susan loves the purple stacked card. Thank you. Two Susans like it. I'm so glad that you like it. Thank you. Good. Elizabeth is going to go ahead and get it today. Oh, thank you, Faith. I'm glad that these are helpful. Thank you, Randy. Thank you, Terry. I know my creativity is just, you know me, like it just, whoo, it just flows, right? It just absolutely flows. And it's something I'm blessed with, and I love that about what I do. Let's see, somebody, I can't see the comment now. Somebody, I think, asked about willow white. It's not really so much a question about it being sturdy. I just don't think that the willow or the white willow is formulated for blends. So I would stick with the basic white. Terry says, your blah, blah, blah is our favorite. You're so kind. Oh my goodness, thank you. And I do have to say, I don't know if Pat is on here, but thank you for the tip about making my font bigger. I increased the font on my tablet, and I actually moved my tablet. It was over there, and I moved it right in front of me over there, and it's perfect. And now I can see everybody's comments, and I don't have to lean way over. So thank you, Pat, if you're watching, for that tip. I kind of thought that increasing the font would not um, affect a YouTube. I thought maybe that was just for other fonts, but it worked perfect. So now I can see everybody's comment and I'm so happy. So thank you so much. I appreciate that tip. Alrighty, so let's get going on some coloring and some tips. I definitely want to show you this idea about coloring the background and then cutting along the top. I definitely want to show you that. And I don't know, what should we start with? Anybody? Maybe just like if I kind of recreate a few of these flowers, you're going to get to see a whole bunch of different color combinations. I think that might just be kind of a good place to start, like that, those, and then we can move into the blue background. When you color with Stampin' Blends, like I mentioned, it's really a good thing to use basic white cardstock, stamp the image with Memento ink, let it dry. So I have pre-stamped, I don't know, on Tuesday or Wednesday, I pre-stamped a bunch of these so they'd be really dry, because you do not want to risk coloring over the wet ink and then making it smear or bleed. So let it dry. If you can let it dry a day, that's like totally great. Good morning, Nell. Hi. So that's great to let it dry. Okay, so when I color my images, one thing I like to do is start with a lighter color and build up to dark. You do not have to. You can color however you want, but this is a system that I think works pretty well for me. So if I just start with, let's start with peach. So this is light peach pie, and I'll just, as an example, show you that I would start from the bottom or the base right here, and I flick upwards. Okay, so let's have a couple of those happening here. And I try to leave a little bit of a white. Let me see if I can zoom in a little. Hang on. Oh yeah, I can. Awesome. Sorry, I didn't mean to shake it. I was just trying to zoom a little bit there for you. Okay, so leave a little white space at the top. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to move on to a couple more flowers to let this dry a little bit. Because as I've said in my other coloring videos, if you go right in with the darker shade and you color right on top of it, it's just going to like blend in. And what I prefer is to have a little bit of differentiation, or however you want to say it. But I like to see the lights and the darks. I don't necessarily want this to just blend like a watercolor. So that's just my preference, but you can color however you'd like, of course, definitely. So then if we go to more of like a peachy, pinky look, let's look at light flirty flamingo and just do kind of the same thing. I'm just going to go from the base. I'm following along with the shape of these petals, going upwards like that, leaving a little bit of light white space. Let me just grab the dark one. I'll keep it right there with it. And then maybe we want to do, let's see, maybe we want to do a pretty in pink over here. So do you see these lines of the petals. I'm just sort of following those. That's all. Not anything super fancy. So then let's go back to the peach and let's get the dark peach pie. And again, flicking upward, but not all the way up to the top. Because my goal is to have some of the white tips, the light peach pie, and the dark peach pie all showing. I want all of those to show. So you could leave it at that. That would just be, that'd be really pretty. You could totally leave it there. But I would like to build up a little more. So I'm going to build up a little more color on these, on each of those three. And then we are going to actually add some other colors to these. So now we'll go back to the peach and let's add, I think I'm going to do a little bit of light timid tiger. Again, I'm just following along where the Stampin' Up! Artist has the lines and just trying to envision where would those petals overlap and cause a shadow. So you can see that on my hand, I think. If this is a petal and you put another petal on top, can you see that shadow? That's what I'm after, is that shadow underneath. So for the Flirty Flamingo, and you'll find these combos suggestions in that PDF that you can download tomorrow. So in the Flirty Flamingo, you might want to add Strawberry Slush as your darker color. So I will grab Strawberry Slush, should be this one, yep. And I'm going to use light Strawberry Slush because I don't want a huge contrast, but I do want a little bit of extra color here. Can you see how those are building up? Isn't it pretty? I love it. I think it's beautiful. And then let's see, this one was our Pretty in Pink. So I think I might go with, let's see, what did I use on that first card? I think I might add Flirty on top of that. Flirty Flamingo. Do any of you have like little code words for your colors? Do you call them, like in my mind, Petunia Pop is just pop, Flirty Flamingo is flirty, Poppy Parade is poppy. In my little brain, I just call them, you know, other colors, other names. So there, that would be beautiful right there. And then over here, what I might do is for these cute little flowers, I think I would add some timid tiger to those to bring in that darker orange over here. And then on this one, I think I would do Strawberry Slush on those little flowers that are in between. Yeah, I'll go ahead and do it on this one. And then this one, I think I would do the dark flirty. And I know I didn't color down here, but I just want to kind of give you that idea of that range of color. And then if you would like, you can go back. I'm going to go with my light Pretty in Pink. If you want to darken up or you want to blend a little more, you can go over the whole thing with one of your lighter colors and just give a little bit of blending to that. And then as that dries, it'll just kind of soften the colors a little and make them blend just a little bit more. So this was my light peach pie. And then to go one shade darker for the centers, I would grab Calypso Coral and do that in those flower centers and the base here. I'm not sure. I'm sure that has a technical name, that little base part. I don't know, whatever it is. And I would use my darkest color in this little family of colors here to put the dark color right in the center. I'll actually do that on these too. And it helps just kind of draw your eye in there. And then I might even grab Poppy Parade just to add a little different range of color. And I don't know if you can, see 100% on the video what this is doing, but this just kind of warmed that up a little bit, just made it a little bit different. So we'll watch as that dries, and that kind of just brings that color in with an extra little shade there. And let's see, it's this light Calypso. I'm gonna be brave and just do a couple little streaks of light Calypso Coral to darken that just a little, but I'm going to stop. I'm really bad at stopping. Like, I just want to keep going with color. I need to stop. For most of my leaves, I started with light lemon lime, and I added dark lemon lime and granny apple. I'll show you a different sample though that I used a different green combination. I like to use the bullet tip for the stem. That just seems an easier way to get the color on a thinner area. And then I'm just kind of pulling that color up into the leaf a little bit with the darker stem. I'm not going to do the whole thing. You can see I'm just sort of hit and miss here on a few of them just to give you an idea. And pull some of that back up into here. And so that was lime and granny. And then if you needed to get it even darker, you could also go with some olive. I'm just going to blend in here with the light granny apple to blend the light and the dark together a bit. And you noticed, maybe you noticed, okay, on the flowers, I was letting that dry. So I did the light peach, the light pretty and pink, the light flirty flamingo. And then I went back to the mid-tones, and then I went in with the dark. I let those kind of dry in between. On these leaves, I was coloring kind of quickly between the light and the dark because I really kind of want them to blend and just sort of be an ombre from light to dark. That's just my preference. So there's an example of the peaches and the pinks and the flirty flamingo with the strawberry slush. Oh yes, flirty flamingo is one of my favorite colors too, Shelley. Thank you, Robin. I'm glad you enjoy it. Thank you, thank you. Thank you, Sylvie. Thanks, Shelley. Oh, you're so sweet. Go. No problem, Colleen. You can watch the replay. Thank you, Debbie. Thanks, everybody. Thank you, France. Thank you for joining. Oh, was somebody asking what I'm using? Thank you, Sue, for helping. It's the Flowers Fair stamp. It's number 167217, and it is new. I was showing the March online exclusive. It's on the third to the last page of that brochure. You can find everything on pattystamps.com today or in the description of this video. You can find all of the supplies listed. So that's just some basics of the way that I like to color with the layers and how I like to achieve the darks and the lights and leaving a little light up at the top. I just like that look. And I know there are infinite ways that you can color. You don't have to use this particular system. I just happen to really like how this looks, and it's quick and it's easy, and I can do lots of cards in a small amount of time. So, one last thing I want to show you, and I did it on both of these cards, and sorry, hang on, I just have to reach over here, and I don't want to knock over the camera because I didn't have black down here. So one thing I like to do is I like to take my black Stampin' Write marker, and before I do it, I'll show you. Do you see the black outline on these cards? I'll show you how I do that. I take this brush tip of the black marker, the black Stampin' Write, and I just run it along the edge. So do you see that? That's how I get the black. Now, when I first started doing this technique, I was afraid that I wasn't going to be able to do this. Like I might slip and it might not turn out. And so what I did was I did this first before I spent my time coloring, because I didn't have confidence yet. So here's what I would suggest. If you want to try that method, grab some just scraps of cardstock and just practice. And just do it over and over. Like that. And try it a few times until you get comfortable with that. And then it'll take that worry away. Or maybe you're not worried, but I was worried that it was going to like slip and go across the page. And so I thought, oh, I want to do it first. But now I'm comfortable with it. But what I love is that look. I don't know. Can you see that black outline? I love how that looks when you have a black outline stamp. And you could do this with any color. Like if you wanted to highlight the strawberry slush, or you wanted to highlight the green or whatever, you can do that with any color. It doesn't have to be black. I just think it looks fantastic with the black outline. So one thing I mentioned is that I did use other greens. Here's an example of where I went into the Summer Splash, the Shy Shamrock, and Shaded Spruce for my greens. So you can pick any selection of greens that you like, any combination, and use those as your greens, just as you can use any combination for your flowers. So just, thinking kind of a little outside the box and just playing with color. Just that's all this is. This is purely playing with color. There are no rights and wrongs. And this is your creation. This is something that you get to do for you and fill your cup. This fills my cup. 100% fills my cup. You can tell, right? Can you tell? So let me just scooch back out a bit. Sorry, I didn't mean to shake it. I just want to go back to the bigger picture here. Oh, you can see it. You love it. Thank you, Debbie. Thank you. Oh, good. Faith likes the black. Yeah, Denise, doesn't it make a difference? This was the dark black, but really when you do this, the light and the dark black almost look totally the same. I think I went too far out there. I don't know. Sorry. I think that was like, well, whatever. Hang on. I'm trying to, let me stand up here. There we go. I think that's better. Sorry for all the zooming in and out. I'm just trying to kind of get you the bigger picture. But it really doesn't matter. Like, let me just show you. I'll grab the light black without knocking over the camera. I did it. And I'll show you. It's really not that much of a difference. My eyes don't even see a difference. So I'll show you. And I'm not pushing hard. I don't want to damage that tip. It's just kind of dragging it along there. So, well, I guess you can actually, you can kind of see the difference between the light and the dark. I would say the light looks a little more gray, which it's supposed to. I mean, that's the whole reason of light and dark, right? So I guess just depending. If you want it a little bolder, use the dark. So yeah, good question. Thank you for asking that. Let's see. Tammy, are you here? Could you take care of that comment for me if you are here? Thank you. Oh, so Diane, I went over this in the beginning. My blends are in this tray. I do not store them this way. This is purely for when I am doing a video or a project and I like to arrange them in a certain way. And I will link this tray in the description. But it's not what I store them in. It's just a handy tray. I was explaining in the beginning, my husband bought them for his tool chest in all different sizes. And I said, wait, hang on. I think I need these. So I bought a bunch of different sizes. This is a medium-ish size, and it's just handy when I'm working on a project or doing a video to have them right there. Yes, Terry, this is the Stampin' Blend for the outline. Okay, let's see. I'm just seeing if there were any other questions. Tammy, I don't know if you're here. If you are, could you take care of that? Appears to be a spammer, please. I don't know if I can do it while I'm live. Let me click and see if I don't know if I can. I don't want to mess things up. No. Oh, let's see. Remove. Okay, I was able to remove it. One of them. If it keeps going, I'll have to like report it as spam. Okay, sorry, I'm sorry, that made me lose my train of thought just a little bit, but we'll move on. Let's keep moving. So I wanted to be sure to show you the idea with the blue, the balmy blue in the background, and then cutting it and putting it on top of balmy blue. So I'm just going to use a smaller piece because we'll be here a long time if I do this whole size, but I want to use a smaller piece and look at the blue combinations. And oh, what do I store them in? They're in a Stampin' storage holder, and you can see that on my blog. If you go to my blog and click my craft room, you'll see everything that I use to store ink pads, paper, 12 by 12s, my blends, my brushes, everything. Yeah. Thank you. I'm glad you like it, Kathy. Thank you. Thank you. So what I wanted to do was do this blue and yellow combo. And in the PDF that you can download tomorrow, so I've got Misty Moonlight, Night of Navy, Balmy Blue, Lemon Lolly, and Daffodil. Those are my blues and yellows. So I'm going to grab those and let's do that. And I'll trim around and I'll fill in and I'll show you how I did this idea right here. So I have, here's my Balmy and my Misty and my Navy. I always think this is so funny that the Night of Navy looks lighter than Misty, and to my eye, it's not. But, you know, whatever. You never know, right? Let's see. I did have something. Hang on. Here it is. I did want to remind you that if you swatch your colors and you keep them, you will never be at a shortage of combination ideas, and you will be able to see like the lights and the darks, and you'll be able to discern which colors are lighter, medium, or darker. So just an FYI. All right, so I am going to start with, I think I'll start with a little bit of dark balmy blue, just to kind of give myself a base of color for the blue. And then I'm going to grab my lolly and my daffodil and start with the light lemon lolly. And again, you know, this is just my preference. This is how I like to color these flowers. You are welcome to do any technique that you like. You don't have to do this technique. And then light, misty moonlight. If you want to take your time and you want to color each little petal and you want to give this tons of shading, you can just so totally do that. My life is like go, go, go. So I sort of like to color faster. I'm doing a little bit of light daffodil on there. That didn't show much. There's not a lot of difference between those, but that's okay. And then let's see. Oh, dark navy is going to be too dark. How about dark misty? Just a little bit of dark misty here. And if you're not sure, just remember, here's what I'm talking about swatching. So there's my light balmy and my dark balmy. And then I think light misty would be the next one. Light misty. That's navy. Dark misty. Light navy. And dark navy. So you can swatch them like this, and then of course you can write next to it if you need to know the exact what the colors were. But that's how you can kind of see if you want to start from light and go to dark. And that will help your eye to say, oh, okay, this is how I'm going to build up my color. All right, let's go to some dark daffodil. Hang on, I'm just checking to see if that... Yeah, I removed the spam comment, Susan. I don't think Tammy's on here. She usually is on here to help me as an admin, but I guess she's not here today. So she usually helps me with that. All right. And then I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to my light balmy and just give a little bit of blending to those blue flowers. And then I mentioned before that I used some Summer Splash Shy Shamrock and Shaded Spruce for a different look on the green. So I just thought, let me do that here on a few of the leaves, just to give you an idea how that looks different than the lime and the granny. So this is Light Splash, Summer Splash, and dark, oh, this is spruce, sorry, like I'm slurring my words. And then I'm going to add some Shy Shamrock. So to my eye, Summer Splash, Shy Shamrock, and Shaded Spruce. I'll show you. So let me just do the lights of each one. So Shamrock, wait, was that? No, Summer Splash. I knew what I wanted to say. I just didn't say it right. Summer Splash. Okay, Shamrock and Spruce. Do you see how those are all in that blue-green family and how they coordinate nicely with the blue? So that's how I picked that. But yet for these, I liked the lime and the granny. Just to my eye, that's what I liked better. So that's how I picked them. Let's see. So where were we? So let's do let's do light shaded spruce a little bit. A little bit of shading on there, just so you can see that. And then you know what I forgot over here? I think I'll do a navy. I forgot this little bit here on the flowers, so that we can kind of give it a little definition. I'm going to put the navy on those centers. I like that. And then I was thinking about being really bold and doing almost like an orange at the base of those, but I think I'll just do daffodil. I'm just feeling like I'm a little more in a play it safe mode than yeah, that's fine. Okay. All right. So what I wanted to get to then was this idea about using your paper snips. Good gravy, you're amazing. That's sweet. You're so sweet. So I wanted to show you this idea about using your paper snips and cutting out around the top. And then layering it on to Balmy Blue, because I just think this is such a cool look. And remember to turn your paper, not your scissors. I don't know if you can see that, but this hand is like just totally still. I am not moving my cutting hand at all. My scissors stay pointing in the same direction and I move my paper, and that is what helps me to do my fussy cutting. All right, so we're just gonna do that much of it. And then I'm gonna take that light Balmy Blue and just start coloring down here, all in between. And what I found was that I needed to color it twice to build up the color and have it look the way I wanted it to look. I think you could probably just start with dark Balmy Blue, or you can do this with Pool Party also, and get away with one layer. But I did like 2 layers of light Balmy Blue. Okay, so I would go through and finish coloring in between. And I'm trying to go kind of quick because I don't want the ink to spend a lot of time next to the flowers, and I don't want it to pull that color in. I'm trying to kind of stay away from saturating right next to all the flowers. So I'm going to let that dry for a second, and I'm going to come back with a second coat. But I do want to show you that then when you take your balmy blue cardstock to create a card like this, you're just simply layering it on top. So I would cut this and make it just a standard size card front, not a slimline, because I only stamped this one once. But that's how I did this idea. So you can see, do you see the difference? This one is still kind of light and it doesn't really match the cardstock. This one matches better. So I'll go back and add a second layer of the light balmy blue. And that's going to richen up. Is that a word? Make the blue richer. That's probably the more grammatically correct way to say it. Oh, so while I'm coloring this in, Sue, I'm going to tell you the story about my ring, because Sue likes to see which ring is on that hand. So this diamond on this ring, the center diamond, that was a diamond that was mined close to 100 years ago, and it was made into a tie tack, and it was given to my great-grandfather when he completed 50 years of service with the railroad. He was a railroad engineer in Utah, in Salt Lake City, and he completed 50 years and was given that as a gift in a tie tack. And when my great-grandparents passed away in the 90s, I think this was about the only thing from their estate that was given to me, was that diamond in the tie tack. And I took it to a jeweler and I had it set in this setting, which I absolutely love. And this diamond is not round because this was mined before there was any computers or advanced equipment or anything. So this is called a miner's cut, because the gem miners, the diamond miners, the miners in the mines, just like chiseled away and just cut this, and then it was set into a setting. So anyway, there's the ring story of the day for you, Sue. All right, so then you can see that starts to match the balmy blue cardstock quite a bit better. You could do a third layer, or like I said, you could just start with dark balmy blue if you wanted it to be darker. But that's how I got this look with the poppy card and the blue and the yellow card. I love this. I think it's something really fun and really different. You know what? It reminded me. I'm going to take one of these that I already did, and I'm going to show you this light smoky slate shadow option. I'm just going to show you that real quickly. Let me put some of these back up here just to get them out of the way. So I have to reach for it without knocking over the camera. All right, light smoky slate. So I just want to give you this tip. I envisioned, oh, thank you, Terry. I'm glad you like the story. Oh, thank you, Susan. Thank you, everybody. Thanks, Debbie. So I envision my sunlight coming down like this. So things on this side, coming like looking this direction, will be shadowed or shaded. And so I just took the bold end, the brush end, and I just started going underneath, and it takes a little guts at first, because at first you start and you're like, oh my gosh, what did I do? What did I do? But when you get this done, this is a super cool look. And so you just envision your light coming down like this. And so you say, okay, so on this edge, I'm going to have a shadow, and the sun isn't going to be down there. And I'm going to add just these little streaks. I did play around with a couple different colors, and I ended up liking this light smoky slate the best. I think it would work with crumb cake. I think you can do it with pool party. What else would I say maybe? I'm just going to look up at my colors here. Maybe light gray granite, basic beige, yeah, kind of any of those neutral, lighter colors. And when you get this done, I think you'll really like this look. Pardon me, frog jumped into my throat. And don't be too precise about it. Be a little bit loose with these shadows. There, that's all I'm going to add. Isn't that fun? That's so quick, isn't it? Super quick. Oh, I'm glad you like the look, Faith. I'm glad you'll try it. Yes, my family story on this, Robin. Absolutely. I love this. So, oh, Tammy, you are here. I didn't know you were here. I was, maybe you were late. I was asking you to take care of those spam comments earlier. I'm glad that you're here. If you could watch for those. I did remove at least one of them, but I think, I hope she's not here. She is not back yet. So that's that. That's that shadowing, the blue, the color combos, the black outline. What else do you want to see before we go? I want to make sure that you have kind of you're comfortable with all of these tips that I've given you. What else would you, anything you'd like to see? Or maybe you got it. Maybe you're like, yep, I get it. I understand it. Oh, no worries, no worries. You're usually right here at 10, and so I wasn't sure. Maybe you were late today. Any questions? Anything you would like to see? Anything I didn't explain well? I'll just remind you, for anyone coming in late, that I've got all of the color combos, all of the supplies, all the dimension, I think the dimensions. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I included the dimensions. All the tips are in the PDF, which will be on pattystamps.com on March 7th. Thank you, Janet. Thank you. Oh, okay. Thanks, Tammy. Oh, the gatefold. Yes, I'm happy to show you that. I'm happy. In fact, I can use this right here to show you. I would love to show you that. So I started with thick basic white. And I cut it in half, 5.5 by 8.5. So this is kind of your standard, if you were to fold this in half, you would have a regular card. But the way that I did this was I scored 3 inches from one end and 1 1/4 from the other end. Okay, then I'm going to fold that. So now you can see we still have 4 1/4 by 5.5, but it folds like a gatefold. And then to put this on top, I cut this at 4 1/4 by 5.5. Oh, this may already be 4. It is 4 1/4 by 5.5. So then I just need to cut that 1 1/4 inch strip off of this side, but I like to measure over here for that. So I'm going to flip it. Okay, see, just a little bit of magic. And then I used my liquid glue. And I put this piece over here. Okay, I'm just gonna press that for a second. Just make sure it doesn't slip. And then the skinny piece will take up this area. so that it looks, I mean, sort of looks, right? It looks like one piece, okay, but it's split. And then, okay, this is kind of fun. I took one of the stamped panels and I trimmed it just a tiny bit because it's going to fold better if you trim just a little bit. If it's just slightly smaller than 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, just like a 1/16 of an inch, just barely. A skosh, as my dad used to say. Put that on the inside. The reason I say take off just a teeny bit is because you want these pieces to fold. I should have taken off even just a tiny bit more. There, that's better. You want these pieces, these flaps. Oh gosh. I should have taken off more than just like barely a 1/16. But let me coax this. You need these to fold like that. And then let's see, what did I do? Oh, I put, look at that. We already have this done from my demo earlier. I just stuck that on the inside for a spot to write your message or stamp, you know, birthday or whatever you'd like. And I really wasn't even going to put a greeting on here, but I had this stamped from another project. This oval is actually from the Scalloped Wishes, but you can, you know, whatever, it can be a circle, whatever you want. And I just thought, okay, it's kind of small. It doesn't take up too much space. And that's what I added to the front. So that's how I did that gatefold. And speaking of greetings, I really did not want to cover a lot of my flower artwork. So you can see I just have a tiny little bit of a banner, a little thinking of you, a greeting up here. This almost killed me to cover that much with the banner, but it's all right. It worked, right? And this one I didn't even cover. I didn't even put one on the front. I just couldn't. And then this one is that Scalloped Wishes. And I thought, okay, there's a lot of purple going on. We can cover a tiny bit of it. But yeah, that was my thought with the greetings. I just could hardly bring myself to cover up what I had colored. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you, Pat. Oh, I'm glad you like the inside, Terry. Thank you. Thanks, Tammy. Let's see. Did I miss up here? You're welcome, Anita. Thank you, Kelly. Oh, yes, Elizabeth, I did explain that in the beginning, but I'll be happy to go over that again. And it's also in the PDF. So I stamped 3 separate pieces. The measurements are here. They're 3.5 by 8.5. So I stamped 3 of them, but you can see that I stamped one of them up towards the top, one of them in the center, and one towards the bottom. Then the top layer is the whole thing needs to be colored. And I laid them next to each other so that I could tell on that middle layer, I didn't need to color from there down. And then you can see if this one is going to go on top of there, you don't need to color from the middle down. And so then I layered those 3 pieces. I think you can see that? So there's the smaller piece, there's the medium piece, and then the back piece is the whole thing. It takes up the whole front. So that's how I did that. And I tried to use the lighter, like the bubble bath and the heather up here, and then the freesia and the petunia pop, and I think berry burst. And then down here, I even added some blackberry bliss just to darken the very dark. So I trying to do like a little bit of an ombre. Oh, good, Tanya. I'm glad you'll try it. Oh, Cynthia, you're very kind. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You're welcome, Elizabeth. Any other questions? Thanks, Peggy. I'm glad you like the creative process. Yes, thanks, Robin. That was my goal today, was to really show you the versatility. If you don't want to do a card front size, you can do a vertical slimline, a horizontal. You can do the coloring in the background. You can make a square. And then as I showed in the beginning, I don't know if all of you were here, but I was sharing. Oh dear, hang on. Well, okay, they couldn't have gone far. Here they are. So I was sharing that you can also think about stamping on die cut pieces so that you have different shapes and sizes to work with. Does not have to be a rectangle. You can work on circles. You can work on squares. I know there's another one over here. It's just there's too much stuff over here. It's somewhere. It ran away. But anyway, I was showing all those in the beginning as well. So thank you, everybody. I will remind you that next week I will be in Long Beach. So I will be at the Stampin' Up! On Stage event on March 13th. I will not have a live for you that day, but I've already linked to my 500 and whatever something videos, and you're welcome to watch a replay of something if you still need a Patty fix on Friday morning. And I hope that you all have a great week. I'll be back on the 20th, and I look forward to seeing you live then. So thank you, everyone. I will see you in a couple weeks. Bye.